All right, and we're back for the next portion of this series. I'm going to do the primary next. Now, one of the things I always do before I pull the primary plug, I want to make sure I can get these screws out. Because people, for some reason, do some stupid crap with them. So, and then they end up stripping them, and then you end up you gotta grind them out, and then you need a primary cover if you damage the case, whatever. It's just people are a little bit crazy when it comes to this. So let's see if we can get these out. Oh God! All right, it's coming, but it feels like they Loctited them. All right, that's one. Oh God! You're kidding me. I don't think they're supposed to be that tight. I think inch pounds is what it calls for. Let's see what this one. Jeez, oh Pete. This, I gotta tell you, this is not right. They should not be anywhere near that tight. I don't know if they Loctited them. I don't know if it calls for Loctite. I don't know. Oh, for God's sakes. All right, so I got them all started, which is a good thing, thank God, because I had a friend of mine here with his bike a while back, and we weren't getting them out. They were too damn tight. We ended up having to cut a notch in them, grind them out, and then once we did that, he had to run over. Another friend of mine was here. He took them over to go buy a new set of screws for his primary cover, and it wasn't cheap. They don't, you know, they don't. It's a Harley, so things aren't cheap with Harleys. So, all right, first thing we're gonna do, pull this plug out. On this to the other side, like so. Get that. This can go here for now, out of the way. And I'll have to get you back down here with the camera again. Plug is right on the bottom of the primary. So, and we'll take the camera out of the stand so you guys can see where we're at. Okay. Set you up on an angle there. I think you should be able to see. Yeah, that should work. Move this. I'm going to slide this a little more because the plug is right there. And again, it should be a 5/8. Pretty much across the board, everything's 5/8. Let's see what we got. Get on there straight. There we go. And once I get this going, I'm going to get the bike back up on my piece of wood. Get it up on there, and then so it's sitting up almost a little bit straighter. I don't know what it calls for. I want to say it only calls for 28 ounces. I'm going to have to go double check. It takes more when you rebuild them, but when you're just doing a service, it shouldn't be as much, if I remember correctly. Maybe 32 total ounces. Boy, they really gobbed that one up with thread sealant. Look at that. I'll bet you that's at factory. But just to be safe, I'm changing everything. Like I said, I'm not playing games. This way I know what's in my bike. Like I said, I'm a fan of Redline, and that's what it's getting. So we'll see. See what it calls for service, and we'll go from there. I got a full quart that came in the kit, and I have, I think, a quarter of a quart. No, that's not. Yeah, that's dirty. So some oil did spill when the filter came off. So that's another area it's going to have to be. Like I said, I'm just going to hit the engine with S100 and we'll let it drain. So while that's draining, we're going to do this. Let's see. All right, so see the plug? We're going to do the same thing we did with the oil plug. We're going to take it, we're going to clean it, clean the threads out, pop that O-ring, put a brand new O-ring on there, and get it ready to go back. So you guys don't have to see any more of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop now till I'm ready to take the primary cover off. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. All right, we're back from that brief break. Viton O-rings, not Vistian, Viton, that's what they're called. I remembered as I was freaking shoving this one on. All right, as you can see, this plug is ready to go. This goes back in, and again, it's going to be the same torque value. 14 to 21 is what it calls for. So, and my wrench is still set to where I had it, so we're good for that. Again, you always put these in by hand. Go as far as you can go. Going back, they always seem to go all the way back to where they belong. Unlike, you know, when you're coming out, because the thread sealant has done its job. So now we're going to grab the torque wrench. It's still set to where it was for the oil plug, and we're going to run this back where it belongs. All right, and make sure I'm on it straight. Come on, there we go. Jesus, slip right the hell off. Come on. There we go. Good job. All right, that's done. So now we got to finish taking the screws out of this. And it does hold. Some guys are throwing too much back. According to the Harley Tech, they hold exactly 1 quart. That's what you put in it. So that's all it's supposed to take is 1. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move the board. I'm going to put it up underneath the side stand. Get this standing up straight. And then once it's up straight, then I'll finish pulling that cover off. All right, we're off the board. And that we're off the board, let's get this over here. This board might be too much, but we're going to see. If it's standing too far up, come on. Yeah, that's going to be too high. I'm going to have to get something else to get that. I can't get to my jack right now. I would actually prefer to put it up on my jack, but right now it's not handy. So let's see. A couple other boards here. It might be a little thinner. Nope, that one is exactly the same. Let's see what we got here. Want something that just, you don't want, it doesn't have to be that far, but you know, you want it up far enough to where it's straight as you can get it. Let's try this one. Now, that way you're not losing anything when you put it. Really? Wow. That is funky. Come on, a little more. All right. There we go. That's straighter. That should do the trick. Basically, we just got to get 32 ounces back in. It's only supposed to take exactly 1 quart. So, finish taking these out. Yeah. Where are we at? Make sure you guys can see, right? Yep, you guys can see what we're doing. That's 1. Jeez, oh Pete, yeah, they got some thread locker on there. Looks like the white stuff, and I don't think, I thought like applications like this, if you're to use it, it's supposed to be blue, because the white's a little bit rough. Come on, here we go. That washer stayed on the cover. Put that back where it belongs. And let's get this one. Okay, there we go. Off you come. How's that O-ring look? I'm gonna wipe that down first. Yep, O-ring looks good. It's got no miles on it, so it should be okay for sealing when we go back together here. You know, they go to the dealership, they tell you put a new one on every time, but technically you don't have to. If it looks good, everything looks good. Seal looks good, everything's in place. and it should do the trick. Let's see. Do we want to leave it? Yeah, we'll leave it right in the cover, I think. Because there's a groove here that it rides in too. So, I mean, I guess I could try to see if I could put it in that groove. Let's see. Before we do anything else, finish wiping this down carefully without stretching it. So I do not have an O-ring for an M8. I have a seal for a twin cam, but I do not have a seal for an M8 engine. Come on, there we go. All right, that's back in. If that stays, which it looks like it will, yep, I can put a dab of grease on it to hold it. Yep, okay. Yeah, because there's no groove on the cover itself. There's absolutely no groove on it. So there's nothing for it to stay in. I wish I had a plain primary to put back on instead of this. So this is just going to have to wait. I'm going to try to assemble parts over the winter, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, before I do anything else, this is wiped clean. I'm going to get the primary oil, dump it in, and like I said, it should go without a problem. Like I said, it says 32 ounces is all it's supposed to take. Not like I said, you see some guys on YouTube, they're like putting in 40 ounces. That's only if you have the whole engine apart, have the cover off, and it's a brand new rebuild. If you're putting a new clutch in, everything's cleaned out. Yeah, you need 40 ounces, 38 or 40 ounces, but not for just a service. A service calls for 32. So get this in here. Hopefully the bike's up high enough. With any luck, it should all go in. If not, I'll have to raise it a little higher. These freaking foil seals just don't want to cooperate today. So, V-twin primary case oil. Like I said, it's Redline, and that's what I prefer. Redline, especially once I get to the transmission, the Redline is the best crap going. I don't care what anybody says. The stuff, the shock proof, it just shifts so much smoother. Kit does come with this funnel. So let's just slowly dump it in. I'm not going to go real fast. If we start getting to the bottom of the basket, then we're going to have to raise the bike up a little higher. See where we're at here. So far, so good. Starting to see the level now. There we go. So just on that block of wood, raised it up high enough to get the 32 ounces back in it. So I'm just going to double check to make sure it is 32, but that's what the text said. So we'll go from there. I'll do another quick online check and see where we're at. All right, this can sit here. As like I said, I do have a little more, if necessary, to go in it. If necessary. All right. Okay. All right, now I'm being stupid. Where the hell did I put my... See, now I'm just being dumb. I set my cell phone down in here somewhere, and I don't know where the hell I put it. I'm going to have, thankfully, I leave my ringer on all the time, so I'm going to have to call it if I can't find it, as long as I don't step on it here under my cover. Yeah, it's not there. You guys see it anywhere? Oh, yeah, there it is. I found it. It's up on my, I have these totes from the parts store. I got a bunch of them. And it's right there. And we're going to double check. I'm going to turn you off for right now. All right, we're back. check multiple sites. They all say the exact same thing. On a service like this, the primary only takes 32 ounces of primary oil. That's it, 1 full quart. The derby cover screws are 25 to 35 inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds. And they do take a little bit of blue Loctite. So we're going to get this set up here. I'm going to get a dab of grease to hold this in place. Let me just get it like kind of there. I'll put a dab of grease behind it, and that'll hold the O-ring in. And then we can go ahead and put the screws in by hand is what I'm going to do. I'll put them in lightly, a little bit of blue Loctite on them, and then we can go from there. And we'll torque them down. I'm going to torque them. I always go in the middle. I've told you guys before when you see my videos. I always try to go in the middle of what the specs are. So if it's 25 to 35 inch pounds, I'm going to do 30 inch pounds. That's where I'm going to be. All right, let's see. Where am I? I'm looking for... I need just a dab of grease to hold this O-ring in place. Actually, maybe. I don't know if I have any... If I have any permatex, I could use just a little dab of permatex. Yeah, here we go. Basically, you just want a small dab, and that holds it in place so you can do what you got to do to put it on. So I'm just going to put it right here in the ridge, that, and we'll do a little smudge down the bottom, like that, and then get that, put it up into place. And there is a sequence to tightening the derby cover screws, so I'll show you that. But that's the same for M8 bikes too, so not just I mean twin cams also, so not just M8s. It's the same for all of them, even the Sportster. So all right, that's in the ridge. Very good. That should hold there. All right, now put a little dab of blue Loctite on these screws. That's that. And we take the cover and get the cover up in place. Like, come on, baby, get lined up there. Like so. And then we'll get these screws and get them started in. Come on. A little extra blue Loctite ended up on it. A little more than I wanted. Let's put it that way. Okay. This idea is just get it started so the rubber seal doesn't move underneath. Like that. That many inch pounds is not a lot, so when you run this in, just run it till it's... Oh, that's nice. Now, I got to pull that back apart because it popped out at the bottom, and I don't know if the rubber gasket moved. More than likely it did. Let's take that back off carefully. Let's see if it stayed. All right, well, fortunately it stayed. All right, very good. Try this again. That's that. Now, get these damn things started again. They're so small that they're, as they say in England, it's fiddly. All right. That's that. Now, let's get a washer still on there and get one on the bottom started. And that'll hold it in place. And then we can get the other three in. Okay, that's good. So now that'll hold in place, so now we can get these other ones started in. Like I said, they each have a little dab of blue Loctite back on them. And then go overboard like the factory Evidently, this yellow stuff that's on here is the factory Loctite. And they, you know, when you buy the cover, you come with the black screws, and it's a mess. No two ways about that. Always make sure your washers are on there too. So, and like I said, when I took it off, one of the washers stuck to the cover. Okay, just to seated. 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 Okay. And then we got the torque wrench set to 30 pounds. Now, I'm going to get that in there, and then click. That's one. Number two is going to be down here. Click. Number three is over here. Number four is here. And then number five is down here. Okay. And that's your star pattern. So again, 32 ounces exactly. Click. Click. Just double checking. Click. And one more. Actually, two more. And then number five is right there. Okay, very good. So that's done. 32 ounces of oil, 25 to 30 inch-pounds. I set it at 30. A little bit of blue Loctite on all the screws going back together, and you're done. So now, what I have next is the transmission service. But before I can do that now, the bike has cooled off enough, I'm going to end up having to take the bike for a ride again to get it hot so I can drain the transmission. And the transmission, 100% only holds 28 ounces of oil. So not a full quart of primary. You do not put a full quart in. You only put 28 ounces in. So we'll have to take a measured 4 ounces out of the quart that I have and go from there. So, okay, with that said, that's part two. That is the primary change. So next time you see me come back on here, it's going to be for the transmission. All right, I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to please like, subscribe, and if this video helped you, please make a comment. YouTube's analytics program looks for that. Also, once again, if you don't feel comfortable doing your own service, see how easy it is, but if you don't feel comfortable, please take it to a professional to handle it for you. But again, this is easy. Doing the brake flush, you'll see that video. It's easy. There's nothing to it. And you need to learn how to work on your own bike, because once you're like 10, 11 years old, the dealership doesn't like to work on the older stuff. I have a 2008 Sportster. They don't want to work on it. So keep that in mind. All right, I'll see you in the next video.